like some tea? Either can you sit out?
I'm okay, thank you.
And then you can sit over here.
Yeah, sure. It's my resume. Please.
So today I'm going to ask you a few questions regarding the HR assistant position.
Sure.
And if you have any questions or concerns regarding the position, the interview, or beautiful imperfections, please let me know at any time.
Okay.
From your resume, I have seen that you studied in Australia at the University of Sydney, and you also took a semester at the University of Portland, Oregon.
Yes, it is.
How has your educational background prepared, or work experiences prepared you for this position?
Well, I feel like having travelled quite a bit and doing the study abroad program has really helped me to have a wide variety of cultures and experiences, and I feel like my schooling, I go to a Catholic school back home as well, and I feel like there's a lot of values that are instilled in our schooling system. We have 3 compulsory classes: theology, ethics, and philosophy, and I feel like those have been really helpful to me, especially the ethics class. We had some really good discussions about just ethical issues in society at the moment, and I feel like that's really helped me with my my experiences for the future.
Okay. In your resume, where it was your personal profile, you described your capability of handling large responsibilities. As an HR assistant, you must deal with employee relations and concerns, and at times these concerns will come from clientele themselves. So here's an example.
Sure.
Sam has on several occasions made negative and inappropriate comments to a few clients. For example, yesterday in yoga class, Sam was overheard saying, "Jolene, did you forget to wear your deodorant today? Perhaps you should stand near a window." How would you discipline Sam's behavior?
I feel like if Sam hasn't really grasped that that's inappropriate for that situation, he really needs to understand that and be taken aside to kind of work that out, because that's obviously maybe an embarrassing comment to the girl, not appropriate at that time. So I guess my first step would be to take him aside and just have a little kind of meeting and just explain to him that that's not appropriate and not part of the ethical behaviour of the company. And then if the girl who was involved, if she was offended by this and then also had some concerns, maybe I'd take her aside and maybe explain both parties' sides and that it wasn't an intentional thing. And I guess if it went on further, we'd really need to sit down with him and really make sure he understands that it's Sam a boy or Sam a girl?
A boy.
Oh yeah, so make sure he understands that if the behaviour continued, that he could no longer really be taking those classes.
I like that you listed it as steps. As you learned through reading our job description, the ability to conduct mediation is important. And I saw on your resume that you conducted peer mediation in your room.
Yeah, I did.
So a situation has arisen that you must address as the HR assistant. We currently have 3 front desk workers. Jordan and Ryan have been complaining about Lizzie's work ethic. She has consistently left the front desk unorganized, forcing another person to pick up after her. They brought this to your attention so that you can mediate the situation. So please explain how you would go about this.
Well, in that situation, I guess the main concern is to make sure both parties understand what's happened and where it's gone wrong, where the conflict has occurred. So, sorry, what was the girl's name?
Lizzie.
Lizzie. I guess I would take Lizzie aside and explain to her that the other feelings of the other 2 parties, and maybe if she feels like, if that step doesn't work and she feels like that wasn't really under her her kind of responsibilities, maybe I would see if we can get them all together and just to explain the situation, and maybe sit down in a really casual environment where they can talk about it and not be too overwhelmed by the situation, and just explain maybe there was reasons that Lizzie has been having family troubles or some other factors that is affecting her work, and so in that case I'd look into that. And if that wasn't the case, and maybe she just was unaware, and then we'd address that.
In your job application, you stated that you would like to join the Beautiful Imperfection team because your skills would be a key to success. What interests you about this position and the organization itself?
Well, I feel like it's got a really nice vibe to the company. I really like the idea that it's based around, you know, making women especially like feel good about their person, who they are, you know. And on the website it said something about having a like the pressures of media, the social media, and I feel like I've had a few classes in this in particular. I'm majoring in politics and minoring in journalism, and I feel like a few of my classes there have really like taught me to kind of examine the media and its role, especially social media. So I feel like it's a really relevant company at the moment, and I feel like its role will be really, you know, influential in the future. So yeah, I feel like my skills from classes I've had throughout my degree have helped me. And then in general, in Year 12 I was first counsellor. There's a executive committee for the school, and there's 5 people nominated by their peers and teachers. And I was nominated into that position, and part of that was being a role model for the students and representing the school at functions. So I feel like that was a skill that I learned to, you know, kind of embody someone that's confident with themselves, and, you know, show other people that that trait is, you know, something that everyone can achieve.
And I was just wondering, is Year 12 high school?
Yeah, sorry, it's the last year of high schooling.
Okay.
So the year before you go off to university.
That was some interesting input you had about social media, because our organization focuses more on advertisements, and we never really looked into social media, so that would be an interesting place to start.
Yeah, especially as it started with a blog, so
yeah,
I feel like that's relevant.
So, as you may have known, since you said you've looked at our website, we have a hotline where clientele provide very personal information about their struggles with their daily life regarding their self-esteem or self-worth. So Taylor works in our 24-hour hotline and has access to this information. And Taylor is overheard making insensitive comments regarding Rhonda's personal issues with her weight and size in her presence. And she came into yoga class today, and she later calls the HR department, which would be you, to complain about Taylor and his insensitivity and violation of privacy. Sure. So if we could role play, I will be Rhonda, the client calling you, and you can be the HR.
Can I just confirm, so Rhonda hears something in yoga class about what Taylor was saying? Okay.
Taylor spoke of information Rhonda told to the hotline, and
sure.
she came in for a yoga class and she heard that.
Okay, right.
Okay. So, hi, I'm a client for your organization, and I came in today and heard that Taylor was talking about my weight, and I feel extremely offended and that my privacy was violated.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope that, I know that wouldn't be intentional of Taylor, because that's not a value that we instill in Beautiful Perfections. But in this case, I'll definitely get in contact with Taylor. I'm really sorry about that. Is there any steps that you'd like in particular to be taken? Besides talking to Taylor individually, would you like a meeting together?
I was just wondering if you had some sort of policy that you could manage your employees, because I feel like this organization is supposed to help me with my self-esteem, and it did the opposite of that.
Well, that's definitely not our intention. At Beautiful Imperfections, we want you to be happy with yourself, not to be always feeling like you're judged, and that's definitely not in our policy to be talking about. Our client confidentiality agreement definitely doesn't say anything, you know, about that. So under our agreement, we definitely would need to be talking to Taylor as soon as possible. After I hang up this call, I will give her a call and schedule a meeting, and we'll discuss what's the next step, because that's not acceptable. And if you'd like anything further, we can have a meeting with her.
I would just like you to tell Taylor that I really didn't appreciate this, and if this happens again, I will no longer come to your establishment.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, we'll continue with Taylor.
Okay. So we're almost done with the interview, and I have one more question. I'd like you to describe the expectations of a Beautiful Imperfections employee and the values that somebody should embody.
I feel like because this company is tailored to individual needs, definitely confidentiality is very important to each client. And I feel like it's a very personable kind of environment where I think that you need like confidence in yourself and integrity. I feel like the company is very much based on personal kind of experiences. So I feel like that's very important within the company to maintain. And I also feel like hard work seems to be a value that is, you know, maintained in all companies. And yeah, just maybe kind of keeping in good judgments about, you know, what's happening. I mean, the situation with Taylor is obviously the opposite of something that Beautiful Imperfections is like striving to do. So yeah, just confidence in, yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions or concerns you'd like to address?
Yeah, I did look over the website a little bit and noticed that there was a section for volunteer services. And as it's a non-profit organisation, I was thinking, is it very volunteer-based, or do you rely heavily on volunteers?
It's extremely volunteer-based. We usually find our employees by volunteers who work diligently and constantly with us, and then eventually we realize that we need them as part of our organization. So it's very non-profit-based, and we try to get sponsors for things because we'd rather not have the women themselves be paying for the services we provide.
And in that case, would my job come under the scope of interviewing for volunteers?
Yes. It'll be interviewing for volunteers and employees and posting the opportunities we provide at different areas that you may see fit, and also it would be encompassing the employee relations and mediation aspect.
Okay.
And you'd be working under Terry Taylor, who's the supervisor. Well, at our company, we just hope to help girls with their self-esteem and self-worth, one girl at a time. We're a small organization that is based in Portland, and we have semi-annual retreats and hotlines and blogs. And if you saw our website, you'd see our gallery. And we're just trying to start small with this, and eventually we hope to broaden out. But the HR assistant position is something we need right now. So thank you for coming in today.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.